Hi, Asahi here. This is my recap for the anime. I parry everything. If you dig my recaps, don't forget to subscribe and smash that notification bell. On a cloudy night, a man named Noor unblocked the neighborhood's water supply with a shovel. The next morning, after the hard work, Aunt Stella gave him his well-deserved payment. Another day, during intense construction work, Noor was the most determined of all the workers, carrying dozens of sandbags at once. At the end of his shift, as he received his daily wage, he heard a girl crying for help in the distance. Without hesitation, he ran to the cave from where the sound came and found himself face to face with a hideous creature being fought by several soldiers. 15 years ago, to the northwest of the Kingdom of Clay's young Noor stacked firewood to feed the fire that warmed the humble farm where he lived. Despite his youth, circumstances had forced him to act like an adult from an early age, as his mother depended on him due to her illness. After giving her an herbal medication, he informed her that he needed to take the goats to the hill. His mother looked at him with a worried expression, but he promised not to go past the rock they had agreed upon. To reassure her, he promised to bring back a rabbit and some herbs for soup, though she didn't seem to improve despite all his efforts. Seeing his mother cough, Noor ran to fetch water, but she pulled him back, wiped a smudge from his face, and lamented from the depths of her heart that she couldn't be there for him in life's moment. Her wish was that he could live the life he wanted. Keeping his promise, Noor prepared the soup and informed his mother that it was ready. However, when he brought her a bowl, he realized the worst had happened. At dawn, the boy buried his mother in the backyard next to another grave he had made with some stacked stones and flowers. Tears streamed down his face as he lost someone so important, but the determination of this child was beyond imaginable. After wiping his face, Noor continued with his life as it had always been. Working in the field and his usual hunting provided his food and kept him sane in the terrible conditions he faced, but he managed to cope through dedication and hard work. Contrary to what one might expect from a boy his age, he even found time for studies amidst all the physical labor he was required to do every single day. During dinner, he looked at the other side of the table and saw no one there. To keep from getting discouraged, he focused on his bowl of food. One night after a fall, while reaching for a specific book he wanted, Noor began to flip through its pages and a memory instantly came to his mind. A few years ago, his father had told him a bedtime story about an adventurer who defeated a giant dragon with the help of his friends, learned magic from an ancient sorcerer, broke the curse of a forest, and was rewarded with an elixir that cures everything from the king of death. According to his father, no matter the difficulty level, an adventurer would always raise his sword against evil and injustice. Hearing this story made young Noor's eyes sparkle. Now, with the adventurer's tale in his hands, he recalled his mother's words about living the life he desired. At dawn, he placed fresh flowers on his parents' graves and announced that he was leaving the city for the first time in his life to become an adventurer. Without much ado, he bid farewell and set out on a journey that would change his life forever. A little further on, he saw two blocks made of a strange material in his path, but decided to pass through without thinking much of it. As he crossed the blocks, he unknowingly stepped through a magical line. When night fell, he camped somewhere in the forest and felt fear from the nocturnal sounds made by the animals, but he maintained his composure to prove to himself that he could handle it. After resting and continuing on his way, he saw the big city in the distance and was stunned by its magnitude. Gaining access to the inside of the walls, he wandered through the market, always wide-eyed and with a smile on his face. Following his path to his destination, he finally found the Adventurers Guild. However, the receptionist dampened the boy's enthusiasm by saying that it wasn't a place for children. Moreover, he reminded Noor that his parents would worry about him. Without hesitation, Noor said they were both dead. This statement caught the receptionist's attention, who then tried to help by saying that younger ones should go through the royal training school before coming to the guild. A few months later, eager to be one of them, the boys started practicing alongside other students. Some could conjure magic on their wooden swords, and Noor tried hard to do the same, but his teacher didn't seem very confident in the novice's abilities. After all, the only skill Noor had managed to learn so far was parry, which involves defending against an attack in a way that allows a counterattack. For this reason, the tutor advised him to seek another path in life. Despite this, without losing enthusiasm, young Noor nodded knocked on the royal army's door and began intense training to become a knight. After more months of practice, the novice instructor delivered the sad news that Nor had developed well below expectations, and continuing this training could jeopardize his physical integrity. Being rejected again, he sought to become a hunter, but the teacher said he had no talent with a bow. Then he turned to professional thieves, but the local tutor noted that he wasn't capable of disarming traps or perceiving the presence of enemies around him. When he tried to become a mage, the master sorcerer made it clear that Nor could only manage to be a human lighter by conjuring a useless spark. Losing his determination, Nor's brightness dimmed as he was dismissed from the church for not being an effective healer. After a series of failures, he returned to the guild, surprising the receptionist by not being accepted into any existing school in the kingdom. Because of this, he received the worst news Nor could expect. Unfortunately, he wasn't fit to become an adventurer. Head hung low, he leaves the big city certain that he is no prodigy. Upon returning home, he visits his parents' graves, coming to terms with the fact that he lacks the talent for what he most desired in life. However, true to his personality, he promises himself that he will train even harder. Reigniting his spirit, he crafts a wooden sword and recalls his teacher's lessons. If you practice a movement repeatedly, you can master it. With this in mind, he trains the only skill he developed during those months away from home, the classic parry. Repeating the gesture non-stop, he spends days and nights honing his skill alone until a year passes and he can already evade 10 swords at once. 3 years later, Nor could deflect 100 swords simultaneously. Rain or shine there, he was practicing the same move. One night during training, he feels a strange aura emanating from his hand, which drives him to train even harder. 14 years on, Nor can deflect 1,000 wooden swords, yet he knows no other skills, and the maturity that comes with age makes this fact weigh more heavily on him. Regardless, one ordinary morning, he visits his parents' graves and announces that this is his last attempt to live his dream. Arriving at the Adventurers Guild, the new receptionist looks over his record and learned skills, recommending the beginner's school once again. This time, Nor wants to skip it, but the girl can't register him with such a meager resume. Suddenly, the old guild master reappears, and Nor greets the man, though he doesn't remember who this young man is. After a sharper look, the master realizes it's Nor in the flesh, and the two sit down for a drink and chat about life. Nor explains he spent all this time training alone, but could only develop the parry. In response, the master explains there's a rank below E, which is rank F, where Nor can attempt to get a spot, but with conditions. Adventurers of this class can't take missions involving killing or venture outside the city to collect items. In essence, only simple nearby tasks for low-pay jobs that local beggars usually did to secure their daily meal. Despite this, without hesitation, Nor accepts the challenge, surprising the guild master. Thus began the days of the new rank F adventurer, filled with hard work wherever he went. The tasks he undertook were done with the determination he always showed in life's chores. Whether carrying junk or rescuing a cat, there was Nor fulfilling his objective while continuing to train intensely to advance in life. To his joy, this work time brought him some new skills, albeit not very strong ones like feather step or rock throw. Rank F or not, Nor had his adventurer's license in hand, and that meant he was living his dream, even if just nibbling at the edges. In his mind, it was more than he could ask for. Returning to the day, he encountered the monstrous bull, a creature he never thought he'd see outside the books he read before bed. The soldier's commander was giving orders to flank the powerful opponent. Their goal was to protect the girl who was trapped, and the officer managed to accomplish this even at the cost of his life. With a single blow, that minotaur-like beast had crushed the man by hurling him into the wall. Nor tries to help the commander, but his life had already slipped away. Leaderless, facing the monster, the soldiers attack recklessly, and they are mercilessly slaughtered one by one. As a result, the path to the girl is left open for the beast. Nor tries to protect her with rock throw. The stone thrown at the minotaur's eye enrages it, and it turns on the human to exact revenge. Running from the opponent as best he can, Nor knows he must use the only skill that can make any difference in this battle. Waiting for the right moment, he anticipates the bull's horn attack and uses parry to deflect the blow. Successfully, he sends the enemy crashing into the wall, but it returns with even more fury. Nor continues using the same technique while his sword gradually breaks under the strain. Though he finds openings for a counterattack, he has no offensive skills, keeping him on the defensive. Worse still, the minotaur resumes its attack on the girl, so Nor uses his feather step and strikes as best he can with his sword, which breaks completely in the move. Even if he never becomes a great adventurer, the boy at least wants to protect this defenseless girl before him. After all, as his father said, an adventurer is one who raises his sword against evil. Nor's strike has no significant effect, and he is attacked again. Even with his broken sword, he continues to defend with parry. To his surprise, one of his defenses sends the beast's axe flying back and beheads it. After being saved, the girl asks for the adventurer's name, but as he is no one important, Nor leaves without answering. More soldiers arrive to rescue Lady Lindbergh. Following this victory, walking through the city, Nor realizes that a creature not even a demon can pose such immense danger. Therefore, he decides he needs to train even more.